Her message sits on your screen, 3 gray lines of disrespect. Your thumb hovers over the typing bubble like a trigger. The room is quiet, but your chest is loud. Every second stretches, begging you to do something. Enforce. This is the place Epictetus trains you to notice. Out there is her tone, her test, her mood. In here is the only thing you own, your reaction. You own the response windows between their hits and your moves. Walk. You think you're replying to her, proving you care. On her side of the chat, speed reads as scarcity. The attention economy ranks you by how quickly you jump. The man who always answers first becomes background noise. Choose. Epictetus splits your life into yours and not yours. Her late reply and mixed dating dynamics are not your responsibility. Your reaction, the words you send back, are yours. You hand over masculine sovereignty whenever you forget that line. Standard. You believe speed proves loyalty, softness, and good intent in her eyes. In her mirror, it can feel like you lack boundaries. You flood the chat, trying to manage her storm from your phone. You volunteer for disrespect, frame by frame, message by message. Mirror. Imagine a chess clock ticking between every notification and your reply. Each pause is a move, not an absence. You can let the first wave of emotion pass. You can answer from the rules you live by instead of panicking. Choose. Tonight, look at your last 3 conflicts on that screen. Circle every reply you fired off under 20 seconds. Call each one a small abdication of your throne. To change life, you start by changing who you let sit there. Enforce. Epictetus starts here, with what is yours and not yours. Insults, her mood, and her testing behavior are beyond your control. Your judgment and response are the only stable ground. Masculine sovereignty begins where other people's control ends. Enforce. You treat every ping like a command you must obey. You let her tone outrank your plans and your peace. Epictetus would call that slavery of attention, not love. Response windows are yours to open or close on purpose. Standard. He has students rehearse answers long before an insult lands. So when her words hit, the response is already forged. You follow rules. You live instead of flinching from hurt. Standard. The man without response windows is ruled by tone. A sigh in her text can spin his whole night. He mirrors whatever emotion arrives on the screen first. You become weather, not climate, when you live like that. Mirror. Under the attention economy, everyone fights to collapse your pause. Apps, messages, and dating dynamics compete for instant access. You trade masculine sovereignty for a constant drip of stimulation. Choose. On the chessboard, every rushed move throws away pieces. You move without thinking, then blame the position for pain. Your replies work the same on this quiet board. You treat her messages as attacks, rather than as positions to study. Choose. Boundaries begin when you respect your own internal clock. You let the first wave of emotion rise and fall. Then you answer from standards, not from fear of scarcity. You choose pacing that fits your life, not impatience. Standard. You think self-control is a vague, distant inner virtue. Epictetus would measure it in minutes, between trigger and reply. Response windows turn characters into something you can actually count. You either lengthen the window or keep rehearsing the same hurt. Mirror. In dating dynamics, delays suggest you already have a life, not a game, a schedule, and a mission that matter. She reads your texts as a map of your priorities. Write one rule you live by that you can see. Walk. Epictetus starts with the trap of confusing yours and not yours. Her mood, her status, and her attention are not your property. You suffer when you treat her choices as extensions of you. You try to steer her weather instead of steering yourself. Enforce. He would say, your pain comes from that hidden confusion. You want control over what you were never promised in any relationship. Every slow reply feels like a broken contract she signed. Your chest reacts to a story you wrote, not her message. Standard. Dating dynamics reveal this every time she pulls back slightly. She posts with another man, and your pulse explodes hard. You flood her phone, trying to drag her back from scarcity. The more you chase, the more leverage you gift away. Choose. In the attention economy, panic is a profitable reflex. Platforms keep you staring at the mirror of her notifications. You refresh, reread, and reframe a single line from her. You think she is in control. You trained her that way. Mirror. Epictetus would point to the belief underlying every reaction. The belief that her response windows must match your demand. A brief nod to Jung here, on projection and neediness. What you refuse to face in yourself, you paste onto her. Walk. You tell yourself she is playing endless games with you. Yet you answer every game piece she moves within seconds. You let messages override boundaries, work, sleep, and masculine sovereignty itself. You keep proving you are always available to be controlled. Standard. Chess is a better picture of what is happening here. You keep blundering pieces by moving the moment you feel hit. You never sit with the board long enough to see patterns. Identify one person you always answer within 30 seconds and write why. Mirror. Once you see that your reactions are pre-written by fear alone, you realize you were never just a victim in this story. You can keep obeying panic or start practicing deliberate response windows. You are not trapped in this script unless you choose it. Mirror. Epictetus starts with a hard mirror, not a soft story. He cares less about blame and more about your choices. He points at your judgments, not her dating dynamics. Your inner state is built inside those small response windows. Standard for how you answer disrespect. You say she made you angry, desperate, scattered, and less. You treat her late cancellation like a crime against you. Epictetus would say, the wound is your own judgment. You translate inconvenience into insult, then call it fate. Mirror. Every time she cancels at the last minute, you rush to reschedule. You quietly sign a contract that your boundaries are flexible. You teach her that your calendar bends around her moods. You teach yourself that masculine sovereignty is negotiable on demand. Throne. You think your standards are what you tell friends privately. In Epictetus, standards are the patterns you keep under pressure. Your responses are the real rules you live by in dating dynamics. You keep choosing appeasement and calling it patience or compassion. Mirror. The attention economy shows the same structure in different clothes. No one forces you to open that app or message. You volunteer time, focus, and respect with every reflexive click. Every yes you give becomes gravity for the next yes. Standard. Look at your last month like a line of mirrors. Each reply stands behind you like a ghost with receipts. When she crossed boundaries, you stayed and smoothed it over. You chose comfort in the moment over long-term respect. Throne. You are not evil for choosing the easier path. You were trying to keep the connection under the real fear of scarcity. But Epictetus would still call it a voluntary chain. You cannot hold masculine sovereignty while begging to be kept. Mirror. Write one sentence on paper, not just in your head. I am volunteering for this pattern when I respond like this. Name the exact behavior, the exact reply, the exact response windows. Then keep that sentence near the screen you usually betray. If reactions are chosen, attraction and disrespect follow your standards. Epictetus starts this paradox on the grounds of freedom. Freedom here means discipline over impulse, not comfort. You are only free when reactions stop owning you. Slow response windows turn panic into the doorway to masculine sovereignty. In his lens, each message arrives as a raw impression. You pause, examine, and decide whether it occurs to you. You treat that gap like a forge, not a blur. You choose rules. You live before emotion chooses you. In dating dynamics, a man who reacts looks trapped. His phone owns him. Her typing bubble owns him. She feels his nervous chase inside every quick answer. He orbits her schedule instead of protecting his own boundaries. You assume answering instantly proves you are serious. She often reads speed as scarcity in your life. When you are always there, presence quietly turns into wallpaper. Your kindness without edges keeps killing her desire in silence. Epictetus would steer you away from debating in rising heat. You stop arguing by text, and the moment tone starts climbing. You slow your reply, breathe, maybe sleep on it once. You speak only from positions you would live tomorrow. The attention economy rewards speed, outrage, and endless availability to everyone. You stand out through quiet delay and unapologetic boundaries. You show you are not on sale to every notification. Masculine sovereignty looks like selective access, not constant performance. Picture a chess player letting the clock tick. He studies the board before committing his single move. Desire works like that in the background of her mind. Steady response windows temper attraction in the forge, not pursuit. You become slow to react, but fast to decide. You move once, cleanly, rather than anxiously many times. You decide which invitations fit your mission and which don't. You stop treating every ping as a command from above. For one day, delay non-urgent replies by 5 minutes. Notice exactly how your anxiety talks whenever you hold back. Let the fear of scarcity rise, crest, then fall quietly. Claiming this power has a cost when you stop reacting. Walk. Epictetus knows the descent that follows new standards. When you stop chasing approval, people rarely clap for you. They question, they mock, they pull at your old self. This is the quiet price of masculine sovereignty. You lengthen response windows and hold your phone still. Group chats move on without your instant opinions flooding. She notices the delay and reads it as distance. Dating dynamics shift when you refuse to jump on command. Epictetus trains students to accept being misunderstood on purpose. He would rather you keep boundaries than keep applause. You choose the rules you live by, not the moods they project. Your silence becomes a mirror that unsettles their comfort. You think push back means you misapplied the philosophy, went wrong. He would say, resistance often proves the chain is breaking. Those first nights feel heavier, more alone, less entertained. You sit with yourself without the usual drip of distractions. In the attention economy, slow replies feel like a form of rebellion. Apps mark you as inactive, less valuable to advertisers. Friends call you distant for guarding your hours and energy. You choose depth over noise, masculine sovereignty over constant access. In dating dynamics, your late replies can sting her insecurity. She may escalate tests, jokes, and little digs about your distance. You will be accused of not caring enough. You learn to stay on your inner throne anyway. Picture the forge where old habits burn but still scream. You stand in the heat while impulses claw for exits. You do not explain every boundary to every critic. You conserve breath for building a life that fits you. Solitude arrives first, long before respect feels different. You walk at night with fewer chats lighting your screen. Mockery comes next, jokes about you being cold or distant. Epictetus would read these as signs that your boundaries are real. Choose one recurring disrespect you usually smooth over or excuse. Late replies, last-minute cancellations, careless digs about your time. Refuse to reward that pattern for one entire week. If you accept this cost, you can start building concrete stances. Enforce. Epictetus turns from theory to practice quietly. He wants you to rehearse before any storm hits your phone. You decide standards in clear air, not inside panic. Response windows become laws you write before pressure arrives. He had students practice replies long before insults landed. You can treat messages the same under dating dynamics. You already know which openings lead you into chaos. You stop improvising and start trusting a few rules you live by. First stance: I do not argue over text with anyone. You reserve conflict for a calm voice or face-to-face. You choose silence over feeding conflicts that never resolve cleanly. You let the attention economy starve when drama pings your screen. You decline the invitation to perform, then feel your masculine sovereignty rise. Second stance: anything that spikes anger waits until after sleep. You give your nervous system one complete cycle to settle. You respond from boundaries instead of from wounded scarcity. You would rather lose a conversation than lose respect for yourself. Third stance: my calendar does not move for last-minute whims. You can change plans, but not from fear of abandonment. You weigh invitations against your mission, work, body, and rest. You start building a life where she visits, not reigns. Epictetus would call these positions training, not rigid posturing. You are rehearsing a character in the small daily negotiations. You think you will know what to do. You actually default to habit unless rules sit close by. Individuation here means you stop copying other men's tactics online. You pick response windows that match your obligations and values. You design scarcity on purpose so your attention gains weight. Boundaries stop being theory and start living in a calendar. She feels the pattern, not the speech, inside your dating dynamics. Write 3 concrete response rules for texts, calls, and cancellations. Put them somewhere your eyes hit before you unlock the screen. Let them decide for you when emotion tries to take over. Once they exist on paper, you can watch how she changes. Choose. Epictetus treats difficult people as training, not enemies. He suggests their behavior exposes your unfinished work inside. You stop asking why she tests and start asking how you stand. Response windows turn raw friction into practice for masculine sovereignty. He would have you see her as a person under pressure. She lives inside the same attention economy that scrapes at you. Options, comments, dating signals swirl around her like weather. Her moves are often reactions to scarcity and fear, not strategy. When she cancels, delays, or pushes your boundaries, you face a fork in the road. Oh, in the Rodney path is a story in which you paint her as evil. The other is data, where you read what she values. Epictetus pushes you toward data so you can make clear choices. You have been using her behavior as permission to hate. You repeat every slight to friends as proof that women are broken. You think bitterness protects you from more disrespect in dating dynamics. In reality, hatred keeps you entangled with what you claim to reject. He wants you to treat each test as a mirror. What does this say about her season, fears, and desires? What does your instant reaction reveal about the rules you live by? You are studying two patterns at once without losing your center. She flirts online with other men while you watch the screen. One option is explosion, messages, demands, drama, and social proof games. Another is a quiet adjustment of investment, or leaving without punishment. Boundaries can be firm without turning you into judge and jury. This is how Epictetus keeps your heart from hardening. You remain warm, but your standards do not move. You respect yourself without needing her to suffer for it. Absolute sovereignty is quiet decisions, not loud revenge sprayed across messages. Take one recent test you keep replaying in your mind. Rewrite it on paper as neutral information about her pattern. Then write the standard it invites you to hold next time. Let clarity guide your dating dynamics forward. When you see both her and yourself clearly, only one mission remains. Epictetus sees every small act as part of character. Your replies, your pauses, your response windows, all training. You are building a man, not just managing moments. Masculine sovereignty grows in inches, not in speeches. He wants your life ordered around a higher purpose. Mission first, then messages, then whatever energy remains. You place the throne at the center of your days. You let attention economy storms circle without stealing you. Picture a Stoic student mapping hours for study and practice. He leaves gossip, flattery, and shallow status games to others. His schedule becomes a mirror, not his passing moods. You need the same structure if you want different dating dynamics. Right now, you treat response windows solely as damage control. You reply just enough to quiet anxiety or scarcity. You still live as if her notification sets your priorities. You trade boundaries for brief hits of feeling wanted again. Epictetus would say your calendar shows your authentic worship. Where you put time, you put belief and identity. Masculine sovereignty means your mission shapes who gets access. Not cruelty, but selective warmth rooted in the rules you live by. As your life fills with training, craft, study, and service, your attention becomes heavier, like forged metal, not mist. You stop chasing any woman who offers interest. You start choosing women who respect standards you already embody. In this frame, respect becomes a side effect. People adjust to the gravity of your commitments. She feels the difference between chaos and coded intention. You no longer sell your focus for crumbs of validation. Let your calendar become a visible creed, not a theory. Block time for body, craft, study, or quiet building. Treat notifications as visitors, not kings of your kingdom. These are boundaries written in ink, not in moods. For the next 3 days, run a protocol. No emotional replies under 30 minutes. No text arguments. Give your mission 1 quiet hour before opening messages. From here, every window between trigger and reply is another chance to live like the man you say you are. Standard.